नाही नाही थांबा, होईल आता, एकच मिनिट.
एक मिनिट, तोडमल सर,
झालं सुरू.
येस
झालं सुरू, करा तोडमल सर करा.
Good afternoon, one and all. We have got very renowned person, scholar. He is an eminent researcher in the field of geography. I am going to introduce him briefly. I warmly welcome to Dr. Sunil Gaikwad sir. He has been working at Professor and Head, Department of Geography, Sir Parshuram Bhau College, Pune. His qualification is MA, MPhil, PhD. He has 30 years teaching experience at UG and PG level. He has received a recognition of Research Guide of Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, and Tilak Maharashtra University, Pune. He has received Dr. Nanasaheb Purulekar Prize at MA MSc examination held in 1988, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. He has received Best Teacher Award from Maharashtra Bhogol Shastra Parishad, Pune. He has successfully completed 5 research projects on different topics. He has published 51 research papers in national and international conferences. He has also presented 80 research papers in national and international conferences. He has 20 students awarded PhD under his guidance, and 4 students submitted PhD under his supervision, and 8 students awarded MPhil under his guidance. He has been delivered 121 talks and invited lectures in different national and international conferences. He has been BOS member of Caroline Samaj Dombivali Model College, Thakurli from 2020-21. He has also BOS member at Nagindas Khandalwala College, Malad, Mumbai from 2018-19. He has recognized different conferences and workshops. Its specialization area is geoinformatics, fuel geomorphology, hydrology, coastal management, land resource management, soil management, and applications of GIS and remote sensing in resource management. All these academic achievements are gained by today's research person. So I kindly request to Dr. Attorneys. Thank you, sir.
Hello, may I start now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Sunil Gaikwad. We'll be having a discussion with a topic that is of use of web portals in geographical research. This topic seems to be a very general one, because as you people are aware of various portals, day-to-day life, even you are using all these portals for our daily needs. We are using mobiles, Androids, and even the computers for various purposes. Dear friends, let me tell you. Yes, please. Yes, sir. Any problem? Yeah. In geographical research, to use a data. And therefore, my talk is talk is arranged in such a way that basically we'll try to understand what is geographical research, exactly what kind of data is needed for our research work. The very basic information I'm going to give you in a few slides, and what kind of data is available worldwide as well as a country level, which is free of cost data, and that we can use effectively in our geographical research. Dear friends, this topic is very general one, but I know most of you must be aware of using this data. You must have heard about the geoportals like Bhuvan, that is central government of India. Then some data is also available with Maharashtra government. That most of the things I am going to show you, and what are the applications of it that will be discussed during the course. Let me present this thing, that is am I sharing a screen? And now you can go through this. The title of today's talk is Use of Web Portals in Geographical Research. This topic is a very general one, but I'm going to introduce some of the geoportals which can be effectively used in our geographical research. As I have told you, let me go through, and you must have heard too many things regarding research and what is that, and what is geographical research in fact. But to my mind, I thought this should be slightly repeated. Research is nothing but it's a search of knowledge. And it can be defined as a scientific and systematic search for relevant information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art of scientific investigation. Research is accumulated with this formulating a research problem. First of all, we have to put up a research problem. We should be able to put up our research problem, and accordingly we have to design our research objectives. Then for the formulating the hypothesis, collecting an evaluation and analysis of data which is collected so far, and making hypotheses and suggested research conclusion. And finally, whenever the hypothesis is formulated, it has to be tested by statistical methods. Characteristics of research: it is directed toward the solution of a problem. A problem is a research problem I am talking about. The problem, you should be able to identify the research problem at its base. Your research emphasizes the development of generalization principles or theories that will be helpful in predicting future occurrences. Means you should be able to predict some of the things that what would be happen in a future. So it depends on what kind of your research problem is. It emphasizes both qualitative and quantitative. Research strives to be objective and logical, applying every possible tests to be validating the procedures employed. This characteristics of research means, in short, you'll find that there should be a sufficient data collection, and it should be in a both way, the qualitative and quantitative manner. You should be able to put it in a proper way. So objectives of research, main objective of research is to find out the truth which is hidden and which has not been discovered yet. This should be a prime objective of our research. To gain up knowledge of a phenomena or to accomplish new experience into it. To acquire a knowledge coming across to tackle the problem, discover the solution of the problems, and to test the hypothesis of a causal relationship between variables. As a geographer, we people are dealing with variables. Some of the variables are dependent, some of the variables are independent. Independent variables, they never change, but dependent variables has to change accordingly. Simply, you can take any example, the amount of rainfall and the production of anything, that is, you can take a maize or rice or whatever the thing. So we can simply formulate a hypothesis that due to plenty of rain, there may be a increase in the production of wheat, rice, or maize. So cause and effect relationship has to be tested in this. And whenever means you have to have the data, sufficient data of last 30 to 40 years of rainfall and the production also. And then only you can test the hypothesis by checking its causal relationship. So this is nothing but it's a cause and effect relationship. The cause in this case is a rain, effect is a production, like that. So your objective of the research should be very sound one. Research is to discover the unsolved problems and formulating a new theory which should be accepted globally. Means it has to have some new things that is coming out of your research. This is the thing. Then type of research. Some say this James and Kahan have mentioned 3 different purposes of research. In fact, fundamental research, which is so the example which is already given here, that is the goal of this research is to find out the basic truth or principles. For example, Newton's law of universal gravitation, Newton's laws of motion, Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square, that is. So Newton's law of universal gravitation, that is. So it is firm ideas, and this is called as a pure research or a very fundamental research. Then applied research, it involves finding new applications of scientific knowledge to the solution of a problem, such as the development of a new system. This is applied research. Your work should be applied. Say, for example, today's pandemic situation, what are the causes of spread of this disease? So there should be a very proper research which will be helpful to minimize the spread of such kind of, say, disease. Third one is action research, which is either initiated to solve immediate problem, or reflective process or progressive problem solving led by individual working with others in teams or as a part of a community of practice to improve the way they address the issue and solve the problem. It is also known as participatory action research. So according to the purpose, although these 3 types of research are there, exist in geographical studies. One more thing I would like to add is this is, in broader sense, the research can be classified according to data collection, its analysis also. So most of the research, like it's a lab-oriented research are there, where the analysis is required, or in chemical sciences, the analysis is required, or the purpose of the work, or the problem is identified, it becomes the purpose of your research. Classification of research according to the purpose that I have already told you: applied, basic research, action research, and one more is added here, that is evaluation research. This kind of research has to be taken while studying the, say, higher degree course, that is PhD course. Classification of research according to the data analysis. What kind of data you are analyzing means your research, it may be completely quantitative in origin, or it may be a qualitative origin. So when qualitative statements are there, then it is called as a qualitative research. Quantification is done, then it is called as a quantitative research. Means use of statistics, mathematics, whatever the things are there. So these methods, they define your classification according to the data analysis. In what way you are analyzing the data, that is very important. Finally, the classification of research according to the data collection methods. Survey research. So household survey, that is a popular method of data collection. That is one of the methods, that is the survey research in human geography. Most of the surveys, they confine to the field oriented, like beach survey or river survey, like that. And historical research, it completely based on secondary data. Descriptive research, then case study research, and the experimental research. Now, what is exactly the meaning of research in geography? Identifying a natural or human problem using scientific methods and techniques, and solving that problem from a geographical point of view is called a geographical research. Means you try to understand the problem may be natural or human, being in nature. Researchers should be able to apply scientific methods and techniques in order to solve such kind of problems. Now you can take an example of, say, pollution, air pollution study. This becomes a research problem. A research problem means air pollution nowadays a very, say, important environmental problem. Now, how a researcher is going to tackle this in order to solve the problem or to minimize the pollution, that becomes a geographical research. In another word, the research problem should be a geographical problem. The observation of the research study should emphasize how the geographical problems act and leads to deterioration of physical and human environment. It depends what kind of problem you are tackling. Types of research in geography. There are two categories. Category A, which is confined to physical geography, and category B, that is confined to human geography, especially in geographical research. Research areas in physical geography, they are confined to process of landform development, how valleys are formed, how different types of valleys are formed, how V-shaped valleys is formed, box-shaped valley is formed, what kind of rock structure is there, what kind of geology is there. So all things has to be considered while doing the process of landform development. Next is the river basin development. These are very few problems I am just stating here with river basin development and management. Now, as you know, nowadays, research problem confined to the watershed studies is thus, that is a basin development and management. And therefore, geomorphological study is said to be a very important nowadays, or watershed or catchment or drainage basin area is considered as a basic unit for basin development studies. So stream flow alteration and consequences, environmental quality assessment and consequences, water quality, air quality, ecological and environmental quality, climate change, etc. are confined to this research in physical geography. Ecological risk assessment, wetland landscape, vegetation community, all these are the some of the broad areas of ecological study. Ecosystem services of wetlands, vegetation, rivers, etc. are also the part of ecological study. Hazard assessment, landslide prone zone, flood prone zone, which this is also confined to the disaster management plan. Then spatial modeling of soil erosion susceptibility assessment, etc. are some of the research types in physical geography. Whenever we talk about human geography, urbanization, the process, and the threats, consequences, urban sprawl, all these are some of the basic, the problem areas, research problem area in the field of human geography. Deprivation, multidimensional poverty, infrastructural deprivation, socioeconomic deprivation. So slum studies and all this comes in the deprivation. Quality of life, land use, land cover change assessment, and their implementation in different perspectives, that is the biodiversity. All these are some of the broad research areas in human geography. Now, what is finally the significance of research in geography? It helps to know about the nature and extent of the research problem and suggested the possible solutions on the specific area. It helps to make predictions about the future scenario. The outcomes of the research studies can establish new ideas and help to other researchers to construct the theoretical basis of their study. The outcome of these research studies can establish new ideas and help to mean that could be a very basis of the theoretical basis of other studies. This also helps to establish the relationship between human and nature. And the outcome of research observations help to the policymakers and planners to formulate new plans and policies or guidelines for solving the problem. So, therefore, in geographical research itself is a very utmost important, activity through which we can solve too many problems. Too many geographical problems or geo-environmental problems or environmental problems. Now, coming to our main point, that is the data collection. Nowadays, You people are doing a PhD coursework. You are a beginner in this field. And you are intended to go for a data collection. That we know the data collection, the methods, that what are the sources of data collection. The primary source means primary and secondary as usual, you know. But dear friends, let me tell you, the data collection nowadays has become a very easy task and job through the availability of different web portals, through which we'll just go through some of the terminologies. This first of all, we'll try to understand what is the main purpose of these web portals. Web portals is to promote information sharing over the internet. This is the first, the purpose of this web portal, to promote information sharing over the internet. Second thing, scientific portals are intended to promote information sharing and discussion among scientists over the internet. This is also very important. They allow scientists to share expensive research instruments as well as data and information stored at distributed sites, to exchange personal experiences and to accelerate the development and dissemination of knowledge. Besides these generic communication tools that can be integrated into the portal, basic generic communication tools, the software packages that scientists use to do science are developed separately and integrated in such a way that they correspond to different scientific topics. The design and implementation of portals are important to create a flexible portal. And this is why these web portals, they are designed so far to discuss different, say, in the scientific community. Now, we'll just come across some of the terminologies while using these terms. We'll start with the help of website. Website is a collection of related web pages. It includes multimedia content, typically identified with a common domain name and published on at least one web server. To explain it further, it is an interlinked collection of web pages grouped in various ways and together called as a website or simply as a site. So this is called as a website. That is nothing but it's pages, various web pages grouped in various ways and together called as a website. The portal is a web-based platform that collects information from different sources into a single user interface, SUI, single user interface, and presents users with the most relevant information for their contacts. Over a time, simple web portals have evolved into portal platforms that support digital customer experience initiative. Web portal is a specially designed website that provides information catered from various sources such as emails, online forums, search engines on one platform in a uniform way. So this is a portal. That is nothing but it's a collection of information in a single user interface. You must have come across one of the terms that is a template. This is nothing but it's a pre-formatted document intended to speed up the creation of commonly used document types such as letters, fax forms, or envelopes. Templates are also used as guidelines for creating documents in a specific format For example, the required format for submitting a paper to a scientific journal. The gadget is nothing but it's a small machine or device which does something useful. You sometimes refer to something as a gadget when you are suggesting that it is complicated and unnecessary. So these are some of the terminology. So template, applet, applet is also a special type of program that is embedded in the web pages to generate the dynamic content. It runs inside the browser and works at client side. Applets are small internet-based program written in Java. So Java, that is Java virtual machine, the program is written. A programming language, Java, that is a programming language for the web and can be downloaded by any computer. The applet is also capable of running in HTML. The applet is usually embedded in a HTML page on a website and can be executed from within a browser. It is a program written in the Java programming language and can be included in an HTML. When you use a Java technology, enable browser to view a page that contains an applet. The applet's code is transferred to your system and executed by the browser's Java virtual machine. These are some of the terminologies we have seen. Very important thing that we are going through now is the G portal. Why do we call it as a G portal? Why not only simply a web portal or simply a portal? Because it's a web-based digital library that collects metadata of a geospatial and georeference resources. It collects the metadata of geospatial and georeference resources on the web and provides digital library services to access them. Now, web-based digital library, which collect the metadata of geospatial, is the data. Metadata is nothing but it is the data of data. And therefore it is called as a metadata. For example, if you have a GRID file, Excel format, or it may be a comma separated value format, CSV file. It gives you the complete minimum, maximum, right hand corner, left hand corner, right bottom corner, left bottom corner. Every geospatial references are given in metadata. And therefore, it becomes a G portal, that is a geo portal. A classification-based interface is also provided to classify and visualize all resources. This interface is supported by a flexible classification language and the backend classification engine. Annotation capabilities of GeoPortals allow users to contribute geospatial and georeference content, as well as their associated metadata, query of resources based on keywords in attributes, and geospatial locations are also supported. So this is GeoPortal. We are more or less will be talking on the G portals, although it's a type of web portal, but G portals, because too many G portals are now available on the website. Now, the easiest way to build geospatial solutions. This is one of the site. Website is given here. I'm going to give you this entire presentation to you. So you can see here, these are some of the websites. Some of the websites I have copied it and pasted somewhere in this presentation. It's a developer platform and marketplace offering all the building blocks for powerful, scalable geospatial products. So simply by clicking this, you can start and you will get the data. Now, in general, USGS, United States Geological Survey, they are having a number of say sites containing biology, ecosystem, coast, energy, environmental health, geology, and too many topics altogether. In this site, if you click somewhere, you'll get data and tools, real-time data, APIs, science data catalog, science database, data management tool, data. You'll be getting map topics, topographical map, geological map, GIS data, national map, USGS store, geographic names information. So in software and multimedia gallery, images, videos, audios, webcams, etc. So too much data is available on this. But this kind of data available worldwide is mainly useful for very, very big areas. It's at continent level for Asian countries or any other, say, continent. Or it cannot be used for a very small area, like a very simple one is a very simple water sedan like that. So it is for a very huge type of study. Now, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO of the United Nations, geospatial information for sustainable food system. This is the FAO Geo Network, GAZE, Global Agroecological Zones Data Version 4. They have been updated all this information. In this way, where you just put up your, say, country name here, and you'll get data confined to the soil, topography, soil resources, land cover, land use, hydrology and water resources, human resource, climate, biological and ecological resources, etc. This is the FAO site, Geo Network, which is so. These are the data portals, Library of Congress, Geography and Map Division, Atlas of North America. This is a country-specific data which is available. Here is the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, data, maps, applications, overview. So all these are available in this. These are some of the sites you can use for a very broader use. Means here, for example, Natural Earth with a domain data set. At a very small scale, it can be used. FAO Geo Network, Living Atlas of the World, European Space Agency, Sentinel Online Data Portal. So Columbia University has serving data for over 20 years on climate, population, soil, economics, etc. CECIN, biodiversity and other things, including its socioeconomic data and application centers, SIDA. Global Land Cover Facility, Atlas of the Biosphere, Natural Earth, World Resources Institute, GIS Data Depot, and too many things are there. So these are some of the sites. You can say GIS Long, Map Service, Bharat Maps. So this is our say site now. The central government has made available it on online now. You can use these maps also. Digital India, Government Geographic Information System, Bhuvan, Data Viewer, IIRS, etc. Now, National Portal of Map Service. This is confined to Indian, work. National Portal of Map Services. This is our National Portal of Map Services. You can find here the different maps of various kinds. Now, in this, They have also developed mobile applications. You can BharatNet Progress, Punjab Sadak Seva, Common Service Center. But in this Bharat Maps, you can use this Bharat Maps. Even the school GIS is there. CGHS mapping, postal GIS, bank, Punjab Road Information System, GIS for WB, ADC, BBNL, BharatNet dashboard, GIS for food processing, GIS for LWA district, and Theme Atlas. YEID, SRE, BSNL GIS, GIS for Agra market, Ag market. So when I click the Theme Atlas, you can just again go for here, Theme Atlas in Bharat Map. So you can view it, you can enlarge it as your say required scale, the scale which is given here, and you can proceed. You can make your map also giving a suitable say extent of your area of interest, district wise, state wise, or you can CSV file, comma separated values. If you give a data in this way, the district level also to give you information. Now, here census 2011 RGI demographic data mapping. This is the same Theme Atlas in Bharat Maps. Here you can see here is a Maharashtra and legend you can see here. This is the literacy rate. Theme is total literacy. And you can see here the categories. The dark blue is the highest, say, literacy rate is there. And the dark brown is a very lowest one. So at a glance, through the map itself, you can get an idea about the literacy of the entire Maharashtra. This is for Pune I have done. You can hear in this pop-up, you can just go Maharashtra, Pune, select sub-district that is Tahsils, literacy and total literacy. You will find the highest rate is here. Mercy and Velle, the lowest literacy rate is found. So in this way, the data means all these are the save files. For Pune city, the data Malunge or village Malunge, sex ratio, the data was unavailable. That is why it is coming blank like this. This is a Malunge new village. This is Pimpri Chinswad Mahanagar Palika. Now see here the Haveli Tahsil. The complete Haveli is in broken pieces. So Devu cantonment and all these cantonment there. So this is a Lonikan and all. This is the eastern part of Haveli, Chindewadi, Hinganga. All these are the villages on the border of down Tahsil here. So this, and you can see the sex ratio of this. Some of the villages still lacking in getting the education. This is the very highest scale data, that is the Hinganga and Sindewadi. Sindewadi is the lowest one and Hinganga is the highest one in terms of the sex ratio. So now here in if you click this one, area of interest, table of content, make my map. Even we can, by selecting the area, we can make our own map. Even the elevation profile can be done. Measurement can be done. Spatial search by putting a name of your place. You can again give the required information and you can get the. Now, spatial search by point, line, polygon, freehand, polygon, freehand, polygon like that. Layer. So distance 5 kilometers buffer parameter. And you can ask a question, that is Gram Panchayat. Now, this is one of the things, Bharat map. This is one of the very important and interesting sites. Then next is a health center. This site is designed by Government of Maharashtra. It was a very earlier, views of this with me. ASHA program, ASHA workers, that that is a ASHA workers. This is a, you just see, भौगोलिक माहिती यंत्रणा, that is a GIS and nothing. And you just see here now, sub-center, संस्थेचा प्रकार, then Jilla, I mean district, Tahsil. Then by clicking this, I have selected Pune here. District hospital in Pune, only one. Then mobile health units, one in Budhargad, another one in Daud. Now here, primary health centers in Pune district, you just note these values or the plus signs, primary health centers. Server means all the tahsils are here. Rural hospital, 30 beds. Nowadays, it is very important where the hospitals are there. So this kind of information is also available. Now, from general to, we are coming to very village level. All these are the boundaries of villages. This is in Khed Tahsil, this is in Amegaon Tahsil. So sub-district hospital is located in Amegaon Tahsil. There is no hospital in Khed. In Pune city, only 2 hospitals are there. One is to Aund and one is in central Pune. Primary health units in Pune district. When the information, ashram school health units, no record found means data is not available. Now, these are the place names. Belsar, NRA, Buskewadi, Paronde, Chincholi, Khalirwadi, Savargaon and all. Narangao, this. In this way, you can get the information of your village also, dispensary, allopathy. So in this way, the primary health centers can also mean the data is also available in Excel format. This is the Water Resource Department, Government of Maharashtra. You just go through this. Jalashay, Pani Satipur, Nagrik Seva, Jalavignan, GIS or remote sensing. And you just come here. This site is being activated by MRSAC, Maharashtra Remote Sensing Center. They are doing the maps and updating of all these things. MRSAC, Maharashtra Government, WRD. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divisions are there of Maharashtra. In Pune division, it includes Kolhapur, Satara, Pune, Solapur also. Aurangabad division is here. Now, in this way, in a pop-up, you can, if you want to see the canal updation and different layers, if you want to know, you can just simply click on this. And even, you just see here, the dots are the wells. See now, water layer is there. Yeah, command layer is there. So Thane and means vegetative cover and all. In this way, the house, village level is village boundary. At the cadastral level, even the data is available. You just see the different maps here. Solapur, Pune. This is a road transport. The cadastral layer is also there. Means even the gut numbers you can see here. This is the transport network. That is the stateways, highways, See now, the cadastral level maps are also available on this. It depends on at what level you wanted to proceed with the research. Even at the very basic level, means at the cadastral level, you can work. If you take a very small area, that is a village, and if you go for studying all these, say parcels of the land, then the study may be very detailed one. So this kind of very small area, high resolution or high scale maps. Now you just note here the scale of the map is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions are there, 0.4 kilometers. You can see that what level the map is here. The Velu, this is the place Velu in the Krishna Basin. You can see again Limpangaon, then Srigonda, and this is the Krishna Basin. These are the village boundaries, and this is the cadastral level now. And this is Srigonda. You just see the star shape. The road network is there. The village map, village boundaries are also there. Railway line is also there. So different, this is the Parner. This is Pune. And you can see the road network, density of road network even. So this is the area under vegetation, means the forest cover. You just see the different views of this. This kind of data is available and may be useful to our research. Now, mapping of post offices, Ministry of Communication, Government of India. So here, even the Maharashtra, Pune city, this is the area of Pune city, and they have also given pin code numbers here. So here, sub PO, that is sub post office, head post office, general IPO, general PO, post office. So red, these are the sub PO, branch PO, pin code boundary is there. They have given. Now see, all these are the pin code boundaries. In the postal services, they have also updated the data. This is a Haveli again, and you can see the location of this. Next is the online thematic mapping. Different states are there, and you can even browse the data from here, and you can download it as per your requirement. Now, this is the COVID, India on COVID-19, infographics and visualizations. This site is also very important again, data.gov.in, real-time air quality, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So you can get the data on this also. GeoWeb services, here IIRS, this site has given a very important information. And this IIRS and ISRO combined, they have made this portal of biodiversity, national biodiversity characterization at landscape level. And you just see the spatial data level. The layer of rivers has been superimposed on this, and you can find the entire Google map is there, and river is. Here is the land use land cover is overlaid on this, and you will find the data in this way. Here is the air quality monitoring forecast. So in this way, you can even forecast the different centers are there. You can visualize this in this way. Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, ISRO data portal is also there. Even our Surveyor General of India, or the SOI, Survey of India, They are also providing a very wonderful and very soft data nowadays, and which can be utilized for our research. Some of the snaps of this are, this is the Pune city, and you can see here, open space, this is the Vadgaon area, and drainage canal is going through this here place. This is the Vadgaon place, playground, everything is detailed. So this is the Pune city. If you enlarge it, it gives you a very authentic and very informative, say, areas are there. Then the Geological Survey of India. Different layers are there. You can generate the GIS report, map series, publications. We people being of geographical student, we never pay great attention to mention and even write or to map the geology of the area under our study. But which is very important to know the geology of that particular area. And therefore, you people are informed to go through this site also. Such kind of information is available on this. Different geological reports according to your set opposite number is available on this site. You can even, according to the opposite number, you can get the say reports also as well as maps also. Yeah, geological quadrangle maps also can be generated or downloaded properly through this. Then water resource and river development. GIS-based decision support system has the potential to use in the era of developmental planning and good governance. See now. Here is a Pune database, data store. How much is data downloaded? How much is the views? Pune City Sanitation Plan 2012, finance budget, even with too many DM data portals are also there. What is important to the student of physical geography is water resource information system. That is a portal which is developed by Central Groundwater Data, Central Groundwater Board, CGWB, and this portal is very important. If possible and if time permits, I'll be showing you the live demo of this, how to use this portal also. This is the site of this, https://indiavris.gov.in RIS. So water resource information system. Important links are there, data availability is there. Formerly, the outlook of this was different. Now, this is the latest one. They are also giving, I'll be showing you how to use this one. These are the major river watershed or drainage basins. And the complete map you can see here. This is a land use land cover map. So built up area, current fallow, deciduous forest, degraded, scrub forest, double tree, like that. Now, I'll show you if the water data is there, allied theme, inland navigation waterways, storm surge study, socioeconomic census is also there. So different say in this way. This. Here, it was a very, initial view was like this, and it was very, or now this is a very latest one. and this was a very old one. They have updated to the new one. India is. So all these things, Data Explorer, Geo Visualization were there. Now base data, hydromet, Indian inland navigation waterways, land resources, surface water, water quality, even interbasin transfer links, water tourism, groundwater. Here the groundwater prospect zones and all were there in this hydromet. Socioeconomic data is also available. This was a former, say, page layout of this site. Now, let us go through this also. DM, then administrative, then in this way, administrative boundaries, consultancy boundary, constituencies boundaries, get village details. This is the Pune district, and in this way, district 2011. You can see here. Just go through some of the snaps of this. Now here is a Yewa station, village name Yewa station. So this kind of information, total population you will get, number of households you will get, total population, male, female, etc. according to 2011. So in this way, this information is very important. Now, river draining into Bay of Bengal. So all these. This is the Khadakwasla. This is the confluence area. You just see the means. See now, this is the drainage network, surface water bodies. See now here, land use land cover. That is a deciduous forest, barren rocky. This is for Maharashtra. This is for Pune. This is for Indapur. You can see here the details you can use of this. See now. This is the Krishna River basin. Krishna, and this is the upper Bhima River. This is the entire Bhima, the part of Krishna. Then now see, as far as the very difficult thing is that most of us are very much in scarcity of this, getting the data of soil. Here is the data of that. Soil depth, texture, slope, erosion, productivity, all the data is given on this risk side. That is but very important. Where is the shallow soil and all. So don't copy and paste, means very different versions are there of the same in too many PhD thesis. So try to update the soil maps, river network maps, rainfall maps, etc. Here, the entire Maharashtra, the soils, moderately shallow to deep soils, greater than 50 centimeter, then shallow soil, 25 to 50, very shallow, 10 to 25, extremely shallow, below 10. So this kind of below 10 means this color, very shallow 10 to 25, the very faint yellow color, and this very, say, bluish tint, shallow, and very faint blue, that is a moderately shallow to deep. And this is the deepest portion of it. In this way, the data can be. Now here, as far as erosion is concerned, the slight erosion is there, mean dark color is there, then severe erosion is here, very severe erosion is here. You can see the map. So you will get the direct, the maps. Even if you are performing a soil erosion study, you can again compare and validate your data with this kind of, say, a portal. Means this is a very good way to check out whether our results are okay or not. Now see, productivity, soil productivity. high productive yellow, moderate productivity, moderately low productivity, low productivity brown color, and the very wonderful maps are there available on this site. So depth, detailed soil information is also there. So I have already shown in groundwater, aquifer lithola, groundwater level, groundwater resources, and groundwater prospects. See now here, even the seats on 250,000 Rajiv Gandhi drinking water mission, they have overlaid these say seats, and topo seat wise, they have prepared groundwater potential maps of the entire country. So this data is not available, but this data is available, 47J by 16. So yes, no. You can see here in this way, that is very. Another thing that is Rashtriya Uchchastar Shiksha Abhiyan. They are also spending some money in this GIS and PFMS, that is Public Finance Management System. Now, very important site is this, Bhuvan, Indian Geo Platform of ISRO. These are the Bhuvan 2D, Bhuvan 3D, climate, too many, say, thematic services is there, disaster management plan is there, ocean services, groundwater, watershed, Manrega, PMG, SY, so all these things are there. Some of the, say, views of this map we can see. Groundwater prospect zones. This is for the entire Maharashtra. And if you select a district, see Pune, I have selected now. Now, this is for Indapur. The former map was for this. This is one of, for my PhD student work. We have used this data. Now, the problem is how to use this data in our geographical research. That I am going to tell you how to geospatial. We have to convert this analog map into our geospatial map. That I think exercise we can do within 5 to 10 minutes. So here, these things is a very important one is there. These are different web portals. I'll show you one of the site that is very important. This is the Maharashtra Maritime Board, those who are very much interested in getting the coastal data, the coastal area, coastal regulation zone, 150 meter, 120, 100 meter. So, here we have to log it. These all maps are prepared by MRSAT. Now see here. I'm giving you a live demo of this MMB, that is the Maharashtra Maritime Board. You see the coastal line here. Some base layers are there. See now, this is the coastal area. Village boundary maps, we have to tick mark. All the yellow boundary map will come. Then departmental layers. Tide location. Cargo. Too many things are there. Lighthouse. MID, if you want to know the MIDC locations. And even the coastal villages. Now see, the coastal villages appear over here. Then tide line, high tide and low tide. Now see here. Now this is a very important information, I would say, because one cannot get a high tide line and a low tide line. And the difference between the vertical difference between this yellow and red line is nothing but it's a tidal range, and how much beach goes underwater at the time of high tide and how much it gets exposed at the time of low tide, that we should know. And this is the Zog River. You'll find here the low tide line is here, high tide line is here. This much is the spread of water in this. Now, if we have this kind of data and your, say, for example, your study area is Andhra and the surrounding or the mouth of this river. Now, you can just look at the bottom, left bottom base. You'll find here, you can change this. In degree, minute, second, you can do it. And you'll get the lat long in degree, minute, second. Scale is also given here. And you can, by tools, you can draw a table of content you can get here. Everything will be coming here. Here, Z limit to 100 meter. See now, 150 meter and these meters. You can just get a snapshot of this. And you can re-rectify the image in any GIS software. How? I'll tell you. So, identify, draw. See now, point, line, freehand, polygon. So we have to take polygon here. I'll double click here. You can make the area of interest. If you would like to go for a very minute study, then you can perform this kind of operation. And I'll tell you how to rectify this the map. See now. Okay. Now, this is the exercise I have done. Now, how to identify the lat long? You'll find here, if you go here, for example, I'll mark the point here, and you have to go in a clockwise direction. Suppose this is not exactly a square or it is not a rectangle also. So you have to mark all the points in this way. Now what I'll do, I'll place my cursor, this arrow here, and I will note the here lat long. Decimal degrees I'll put 73.07561. At the same time, latitude is 17.82758. Now, here also, on the next corner, I'll go 73. Our area is not exact rectangle or square. That is why every point has to be noted. 10968 and latitude is 17.854. In fact, it has to be the same one, but now our area is not exactly the square format. See now. And that is why I am telling you what to do when the area is like this. So 73, 17.83114, and the last one point I'm taking here as 73.08110 and 17.83159. So 4 points I have. Now what to do? Print the screen. Say new. Say paste. Okay. So I'll save it as JPG, underline, save. Okay. Now, in Global Mapper or any software, you can recognize, say, re-rectify it. Once the see this, manually rectify it. You just simply rectify the image. I'm telling you, and I'm just giving time, much more time, at least you people should do your own maps and don't give map to others to prepare. That is very problematic. Now 73.07561 and at the same time 17.82758. Add point. Okay. The next point, drag this thing exactly here, not there. One zero 968 17.85418. This is another point. And third point, over at the center layer. And 17.83114. Third point, error is 0, means we are going right. Eight three 159 that is longitude 73.08110. Error 0 means say apply and okay. See now, this means that we have gone somewhere wrong. Some problems are there. We could not do it very properly. So what you do in this, close. 4 points has to be done very properly. I'll give you the another image. Krishna River, entire basin will take. Now what you do? See, this 71 and 19. Longitude 71, 19. Okay. This is the first point. This is second point. This is 81. And 14. And 71. See. See now. The entire Krishna basin is marked like this, and it is your reference. You can see here in the bottom, you can find here the entire Krishna basin we have rectified. Now simply the map image was not right. So what you do, you just export it to a proper way, raster image, JPG format, and you can take whatever you want to take. See now, zoom out. I'll take this much area only. Crop. Finish. Now see here. This can be done afterwards. No. Now I'll show you the difference now. Open. ते ह्याच्यात गेलंच. See now. And in this layer, you can go here and you can see, just see. See now. Yellow to effect. Nakasha. Now you can digitize this map. So in this way, the web portals can be used and digitized, and you can mark out the area of interest. Even your, say, this upper Bhima basin, Krishna upper sub-basin, Bhima lower basin. According to this, you can use, digitize your area and make your own area of interest. So these things, but very interesting. There is a plenty of, sources of data nowadays, and you can utilize it for your geographical research. I think last 5 minutes are there, 5 to 2 minutes or 3 minutes are there. If anybody have any difficulty or, they can.
ब्रेक भी नहीं सर, ब्रेक भी नहीं.
They can ask me a questions, no problem.
Now the session is open for the question and answer. If you have the question, you can ask.
Even
Good evening,
in
sir.
chat box, you can ask me a question, no problem. In chat box, you can give me your place, second resource person. Okay. I think no question is there.
नाही सर, एखादा क्वेश्चन घेऊ शकतो. If participant has any question, we can surely have.
You can ask me a question, no problem.
Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sir, you have given us information about various web resources, data and maps. So my question is, as per my research area or topic, so is the map ready on the web portal, or I need to give data, provide data to it, and then map will be generated?
Kindly know me your, this thing means, what is your topic in fact?
My research topic is urban transportation.
So you can get urban data in PMC also. Pune Mahanagar Palika, they have given they have prepared all the soft copies, means in file format data is available there. So you need not to digitize it again and again. That is also another source of reliable and authentic data. You can approach there. You can even get the say file GI data for entire Pune, no problem. You will get it in a soft copy, no problem.
So simply I need to get it copied for my project, right? No need to give any kind of input to the map.
No. Simply now, what kind of data you are getting, that is very important thing. I think this Pune Municipal Corporation, they have prepared different layers, ward-wise or something like that. Okay. So layers of what? Layers of land use, land cover. Where is the residential zone? Where is the road? Where is the Kacha road? Where is the Pakka road? Where are the trees, their places, etc. So all these layers are there, and you only the thing you how to take the data, whatever you want out of that layer. Means you need not to take the entire layers. You can take 2 to 3 layers out of it. Okay. And you can do your work.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It depends what kind of data you will be getting there. And even, I'll give you one site. There is a very high resolution data is there. Pune city also in SAFE file format. If the PMC is not giving you a data, you can approach me. I'll find that site and I'll forward it to you. No problem. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good evening to all. It's my pleasure to express vote of thanks for this session. First of all, I express sincere thanks to the today's resource person, Dr. Sunil Gaikwad, sir, SP College, Pune, for his very informative speech on use of web portals in geographical research. Also, I express my thanks to the principal of SP College, Pune, Dr. Datar ma'am. I am very much thankful to Dr. Devne sir and Dr. Dhavle sir for valuable support. And last but not least, all participants of this course for those active participants in this course. So thank you and thank you very much.